So we're going to take the Sierra for an old drive now. Fire it up. Fires right up, as every 5.3 does. Alright, so setting off in the 02 Sierra. Shifts right into drive. So, you know, I've driven this truck for the last 3 years, so I'm not new to it at all. You know, it's not like a first impression video or anything, but you know, overall, I think this is an awesome truck. I absolutely love driving it. My favorite part about it is actually probably the steering. The steering just feels great compared to new trucks where it's all like dull. This feels like it's a nice tight rack, and I like it. I like it a lot. Got the nice big leather wrapped wheel. It's not giant. There's not all kinds of stupid buttons on it. So this is perfect. Transmission shifts fantastically. 4-wheel drive works great. And I mean, the engine's quiet, which, you know, I'm not super crazy about, but when you stomp on it, it makes noises that it should. But yeah, I mean, just the driving the truck is great. It's comfortable in here. I'm 6'1", and I got all kinds of room everywhere. So I think this truck can accommodate people up to, like, you know, shack. So good stuff there. The suspension is a little firmer than most new trucks, than pretty much any new truck, especially Rams. You know, new Rams ride pretty nice. This one's a little firmer, just because it is a 2-door long bed and a Z71. Those both add to the firmness. So compared to a new truck, if you're used to a new truck and you get into one of these, you're gonna think, man, this thing rides like crap. But relatively speaking to most normal trucks, this rides about like it should. It's when you load it up with, you know, 500,000 pounds of stuff, it does ride a lot nicer because the suspension gets a lot more loaded. But you know, it's not like it rides bad. It's just compared to new trucks, it's a little firm. That's really all I gotta say about the suspension. I mean, it takes a beating. This truck's 20 years old. I'm pretty sure everything is original, so that might have something to do with the firmness of it as well. Got to keep in mind this is a now 18-year-old truck, so it's not exactly a spring chicken. But yeah, I mean, I'm on a really bumpy parking lot right now, and it seems to take the bumps all right. But when I go into Detroit and stuff, it is a little rough. But you know, the engine, I mean, this engine makes a lot of power. 285 horsepower these days doesn't sound like much, but you gotta remember this truck's 4,300 pounds. There really isn't a truck that's 4,300 pounds these days, so it's kind of hard to find something like that today. Kind of hard to find a 2-door today, really. I mean, it just rides great, runs great, love everything about it. It is a little windy, so, like, you know, the tailgate catches a lot of wind because it's a long bed, and when on the highway it is a little noisy in here, but that's not that big of a deal. Not as loud as like a Jeep or something, or a convertible. But you know, my favorite thing about this truck is probably that it's a 2-door. It heats up and cools down really, really nice. I really enjoy that in the both hot months and the cold months, because in Michigan we get a little bit of everything here. But you know, I love the way everything's laid out. Very easy to function. You know, while you're driving, you don't want to be looking at buttons and seeing what they're saying. This is it's very easy to get used to, and I can function everything without looking at it. But I am very used to this truck. You know, I've been in a GMC 800 my entire life. But I really like this truck. Brakes are pretty good. I mean, by modern standards, I'm sure they're not very good, but by my standards, they're fine. So go out onto the main road here. It's not going to be a huge acceleration, but I mean, she gets up and goes, you know. This thing ain't slow. You know, most new trucks are pretty quick, but back in 2002, I mean, this was flying. So 5.3 gets her done, even 20 years later. No complaints there. And this 4L60, it does the job totally fine, no complaints, no drama. It gets it done, does what it's supposed to. rear end on this truck is a 373 Posi. so it feels pretty good, and it will spin the tires quite easily when you want it to. We're on a traffic circle here because that's all we have in Michigan now is traffic circles. I like the traffic circles, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, this thing's awesome. We're on a 45-mile-an-hour like country back road now, and it's taking it just fine. It's actually quite a nice cruiser. Once you get to like 70 miles an hour, it does start to, the wind does start to kind of push it back a little bit, so it doesn't like coast very well, but it is a pickup truck, so it's never going to coast like a Firebird does, where it just cuts right through the wind. This thing is, you know, it is a little bit of a fist in the wind. But yeah, I mean, the handling on this truck for a pickup truck is very good, in my opinion. I think it handles great. You know, it's not like sports car handling, but it's definitely not bad. So I'm a big fan of the way this truck drives. We will turn around and start heading back, but I mean, this truck's awesome. Zero complaints with anything regarding the way it drives. The turning radius on these GMT 800 trucks is actually pretty well the best you can get. I mean, new trucks, the turning radius is pretty good too, but I mean, just compared to most vehicles, this truck turns pretty damn tight. And for it being a four-wheel drive, I find that pretty impressive. But yeah, I mean, this truck's epic. Pretty epic. Get on the road here. But overall, I don't think they've made a better truck since. Sure, new trucks have all kinds of you know, features and whatnot, and screens, but as a truck, you don't need screens and all that fancy garbage. What you need is a working engine, a tough body and suspension, and a truck that'll get the job done. And 20 years later, this thing's still getting the job done. I think that should speak for itself. Gauge layout's quite nice. Very easy to read, very straightforward. Zero complaints there. But you know, I mean, every vehicle has its little things that I don't like, but on this truck, this is very, very small.